This psychedelic bowl of vomit is called Hyperdemon. It's a first-person shooter where you play an arm and you kill yellow floaties. That is the entire game. Sort of. I only knew maybe 30% of that when I bought it, because every video and screenshot of the Steam page is what I imagine coma dreams look like. I've played a few hours now, and I've come to a verdict. I know what I think of it. It's incredible. It shouldn't be. It's a garish mess. It moves too fast, the screen is disgustingly cluttered, and it's a single level arena shooter. I mean, I've had 3 seizures, and I don't even have epilepsy. Yet somehow the developers have combined a minimalistic game idea and structure with deep, satisfying mechanics and fantastic game flow. Okay, time for me to go into a bit more detail. First off, it's horrifying nonsense to watch. It is not spectator friendly by any means. Everyone I've showed footage to is now institutionalized, but when you play it, your brain very quickly adapts to what is basically color coding. The arena is just empty space, it's mostly black, with like a sort of yellow padded floor type thing. But all the enemies are bright yellow, and they have distinct flashing visual cues for when they attack. Your sort of power-up crystals and laser weapon is purple, these bombs are green, and these weakened enemies turn a kind of bluish purple. It's all silhouettes. You see a round yellow shape, that's one of these guys. You see a long yellow shape, that's this guy. It removes any conscious thought needed to identify objects. Then we have the perspective. I have the FOV at 180 degrees horizontal. It's horrible. There's no way you can know what's going on. A lot of people struggle at anything above like 100 FOV in any game, let alone a game this sort of garish. But believe it or not, thanks to the color coding I mentioned, when something appears in your 180 degree peripheral vision, you tend to know what it is. Because if it's yellow, it's an enemy. If it's green, it's like a bomb. It's very easy to tell where threats are. You don't need detail because of the silhouettes. You don't need to be able to immediately identify everything on screen, you just need to know whether it's good or bad. I'm only on a 24-inch monitor, but I imagine that this would work just as well on a bigger one. On top of this sensory overload, you actually also get to see behind you. Any enemies that are sort of directly behind you appear in the form of red ghosts. This sounds overly complicated and pointless, but it's genuinely nice. It feels good, it feels easy. You can keep track of things that go behind you without your brain de-wrinkling like I would have immediately assumed. Then we have... It's a mishmash of classic arcadey FPS movement wrapped together, no holds barred. You've got dashing, bunny hopping, sliding, dodging, rocket jumping, fucking Goomba stomping. This means if you played any movement heavy FPS games like, Quake, or even a more modern example like Warzone, you'll pick up the movement systems pretty quickly. It's the same controls. It's very responsive, and you have a nice small hitbox, so you're not bouncing off everything and dying all the time when you're trying to do like fancy fucking somersaults. You don't feel like a Panzer tank rolling through a doorway. You feel like the rabbit from Monty Python ripping everyone's balls off. You're an arm. You can shoot daggers like a machine gun or a shotgun, and when enemies die you can pick up their crystal juice to either power up your shots or fire a laser. The game has a score counter which constantly ticks down. When you kill things, you get points. The more points you earn, the more quickly things spawn and the faster the game progresses. That is the entire game, genuinely. At its core, anyway. This is where the complexity starts to kick in. You very quickly catch on, with or without the tutorial's help, that simply shooting enemies till they die won't work. You're too slow, your score sucks, your children will laugh and they'll throw rocks at you. So you follow the tutorial's lead. You jump on things to kill them from a stun, you slide under the floaty guys to make them easy to shoot, you laser the big boys for an insta-kill. Then you get more advanced, you learn other mechanics like that these guys eat crystals and shit out bombs, that if you laser a bomb, ricocheting lasers allows you to hit multiple targets for easy score. The list goes on and on, but basically you become a flow machine. You don't have to think about these mechanics because they're obvious. I don't know if it's to do with the color coding, I don't know if it's just because none of them are inherently super complex. It's not like you're doing a 200 hit combo having to press all these different inputs. They're all based on the same mechanics, but they just Work. Your efficiency goes through the roof. Everyone loves you. No more rocks. No more harsh words. The phone rings. It's Stevie Wonder. You get a picture. There's 2 major cons. These are the only 2 that I can think of at the moment. Maybe there's more, I don't know. The first of these is that chances are you don't understand a fucking word coming out of my mouth. This game is genuinely user-friendly. I mean that. It is user-friendly. And yet it is outwardly antagonistic and hostile to the spectator. Watching it is just stupid. You cannot figure out what's going on by watching it. Even knowing the mechanics and having played it, watching it looks and feels weird. It's a psychedelic nightmare with absolutely no relative position. The other con is more about when you're playing it. I played this game for maybe 90 minutes when I first bought it, and when I finished and stopped playing, I genuinely, no joke, had a headache. It's like that polybias, that cursed video game box, like the FBI turned people into birds with, allegedly. But I haven't had a headache from it since, so it's possible that either I've grown used to this and it was just a sort of initial shock effect, or that the tumours it's grown have done enough nerve damage that I can no longer feel it. Either way, 9 out of 10. Go be a good consumer. Buy this colourful power stick right now.